Namaste. You can see the image on the left. I got ghosted by a girl, and look what I did. I'm smoking a cigarette. But then you can see the image on the right. I have compassion for myself, I love myself, and I'm empathetic towards myself. And I'm in the best shape of my life. All doing it while living alone and going through a breakup still. If you just went through a breakup, you feel like crap, this video is for you. Understand that when you go through a breakup, when you have heartache, hormones are all over the place. Your norepinephrine spikes and your oxytocin drops, which is the bonding hormone in the fight or flight response. What happens here is that you try to fix and overcome your thoughts, try to control the situation, and then you try to be strong. What happens when you put this positive and negative spin on an emotion, you go out of control. Instead, what do? I'm dhruvaMD, a practicing board-certified family doctor. The image on the left, I think I might have been 26. The image on the right, I'm 45 now. And during that time, I was still living alone, but I was drinking, I was smoking weed, and I was drinking alcohol, and I was smoking cigarettes, and I just was not the best version of myself. Eating bad, I was like 50, 60 pounds overweight as compared to now. I think I might have been 210 pounds then, 220 pounds, and now I just weighed 159 this morning. Here's the thing about it, is that I thought that I was dumb, stupid, I was no good, and I was gonna be discarded. The reason why I started working out is not because I'm a doctor. Well, that too, but mainly because I wanted to go back out and date. I wanted to think that I'm going to be so good that I cannot be ignored. I just didn't know how to work out. I didn't know how to stop lying about me smoking cigarettes. I didn't know how to cope with life without drinking or eating bad. I just didn't know what to do. And I was living alone all of these times. But I've been sober since July 31st of 2018, which almost makes about 7 years. And throughout this time, I had to figure out a way to love myself while living alone. I built my life back from drugs, alcohol, and gambling debt, and more so from self-hate to self-love. Self-hate to self-love took me about 5 years. And after that, I was still single for about a couple of years to make sure that I was okay. I did not want to get back into a relationship where I was controlling the other person, that I was trying to fix them, overcome their thoughts, trying to think that I'm going to make them better one day, that they're going to start working out one day, that they're going to start writing one day. I said, look, it's better to be alone than to be up in the middle of the night texting back and forth, even though you're saying I'm sorry because you're just trying to go to sleep and you're trying to placate the situation. And then you develop resentments towards that person. And then after that, you get upset when you're driving a car. It has nothing to do with the person that is there when you're driving. Driving is one of the most dangerous things that we can do. But why are you upset? It's not because of them. It's because you're upset at yourself because you have a resentment that you didn't set a boundary, you didn't forgive yourself, and you're carrying that forward. And that's what I don't want you to do. Why does ghosting hit so hard? It's because oxytocin drops. The bond was real, even if it was short. I just got ghosted recently. And here's the thing, is that nothing happened. There was no big argument. There's no bad text message. We were together for a few months. I mean, there was nothing serious about it either, but serious enough where I said, look, I'm not going to see or date anybody else. What happens is that one day, that was it. You know, you saw the text. I mean, when I left one day when I was hanging out with her, I knew that something was off, but I just couldn't tell because she's so nice. And maybe something could have happened in her life. You see, I don't even know. I mean, there could have been something that could have happened in her personal life where she didn't feel comfortable sharing it with me. Maybe I was too intense. Maybe I was too aggressive with the mindfulness. Maybe I was talking about mind hygiene too often. And this is where I sat with it and tried to understand. And what am I doing here? I'm developing a bond with myself. I'm loving myself and I'm developing that oxytocin for myself. Dopamine withdrawal is very real. Your brain was expecting more reward. You were expecting to see them again, but you just didn't. Cortisol spikes. You feel anxious, alert, and unstable, like you got to go do something. Your prefrontal cortex goes offline, and then your emotions take over, and you start overthinking, catastrophizing. You're not good enough. You'll never be with anybody. You hope that they'll call you back. All of these things start going. You wake up in the morning hoping that there's going to be a text. You keep on checking your phone all the time hoping that there's going to be a text. You're hoping that they're going to send you those exclamation points that made you feel warm and comfortable. The dopamine is lower. It's not just a girl. It's neurochemical and there's a collapse with emotional memory that occurs. And what happens here is that you want to figure out a way to understand yourself. You want to set boundaries with yourself. You're not going to call her. You're going to keep the promises that you make to yourself. You're not going to text her. You're not going to go online dating and do somebody else wrong while you're upset at this person. And you're just going to keep on writing about it every second. And I'll share this process with you that's helped me during this breakup, where I feel confident and I believe in myself enough to be able to share my journey of being alone. I thought that I was just really dumb being alone all of those years. I thought that I wasn't good enough. But that wasn't the case. God had a bigger plan for me. God had a different calling for me. You're going to stay alone, sleep all of those weekends alone, eat sugar, get addicted to alcohol, get addicted to sugar, get addicted to lying down, get addicted to watching TV, and then you're going to write your way out of it. And that's where Mind Hygiene, which is supported by medical evidence, will help you be the next best version of yourself. There will be a link in the description below to this that you can follow. It's a free guide that'll help you feel better about yourself every second for the rest of your life. ACE is your life with Mind Hygiene. A is accept your awareness. C, communicate your compassion. E is embrace your empathy. And S is soften the process. ACE your life with Mind Hygiene. When you accept and you do an action step to show yourself compassion, you understand yourself empathetically and you soften the process, meaning don't make it seem like it's hard, stressful, difficult, too much, and don't talk to people that blame, shame, and talk bad and make you feel good by saying that you're a good person and you're gonna find somebody, you're gonna find your person. You don't want that. You don't want that in your life. You wanna write it down to understand what you're thinking. Matter of fact, you should not be even listening to me. You can inspire from me, but you shouldn't be taking my advice. Why is that? Because this method is foolproof. Why is that? It's because when you write it down, what happens to the limbic system is that it restores prefrontal clarity and stops the emotional loop. I'm not the first person. I did not invent writing. But when you write enough and you write it over and over and over again, I accept that I got ghosted. I'm going to communicate with myself compassionately by doing something that's within my core values. I'm going to write, I'm going to eat healthy, I'm going to exercise, and I'm not going to look for external validation when nobody's watching me. Now you have empathy for yourself because you understand you're doing it alone. And when you do these things, you'll be able to restore that emotional loop. Imagine all of these emotions flying high. And when you write it down, I accept that I'm anxious because of a breakup. Done. 30% reduction already in your mind's neurochemicals. Studies show that narrative writing from Penbaker in 1997 reduces reactivity and improves decision-making and builds identity resilience. What this means for you is that think about it like working out. You go to the gym for 1 second, stay there for 2, stay there for 3, do that for an hour, do that for a week, do that for a month. Things are going to transform. It's similar with this. Mind Hygiene heavily draws from Dialectical Behavioral Therapy. Dialectical Behavioral Therapy is something that I did for about a couple of years. I did that book, the Dialectical Behavioral Therapy book, about 1.5 times. And this is where soften the process comes in. Is it hard to hate, be stressed out, and run in loops? Or is it hard to write about it all the time to understand yourself? Dialectical behavioral therapy for emotional dysregulation can help you. Here's the thing about emotional regulation and dysregulation. I don't like these words. I want to be able to accept my mental faculties. I don't want to have to try to control them. I don't want to try to have to fix them, overcome them, or deal with my mind. I want to be able to accept and embrace it for what it is, use it as inspiration to rely on myself because nobody else is there. You know how people talk about, oh, you're going to find your right person. Oh, you should not be living alone. Oh, loneliness is comparable to smoking a pack of cigarettes by yourself. I'm not going to disagree with you on that. I won't disagree with other people on that. But what I will say is that you can do it alone because I did it alone and I'm doing it alone still. God has put me in this position to show people that you can live a great life alone, feel good, look good, do well, be a doctor, do it all alone, no family, no friends. I have my dog, Havanese Yorkie Suwarna, Ajay, my cat, Ajay, putta. But still, I've done it alone. And that's where I don't want to emotionally regulate my mind. I don't care about the dysregulation. I don't want to think of my mind as positive or negative. I just want to accept and embrace it for what it is. Dialectical behavioral therapy significantly improves your emotional well-being, distress tolerance, and mindfulness. Let's break this down a little bit. We talked about emotional regulation. I would rather have you inspire from this and say, I want to emotionally accept myself. Distress tolerance. Now, this is a good place to start, but I don't want to tolerate anything. I don't want to control anything. I want to be able to embrace it. I don't want to tolerate distress. I want to write it down and speak in wise mind. I want to communicate with myself with empathy. I don't want to hate myself. I don't want to say that I can't do this. I don't want to say that I don't want to do this. Those are not within my values. I'm going to say I can do this because of this, and this is an evidence-based writing process where you don't need anybody, a doctor, a therapist, a coach. Are you going to be that person who says when you're stressed out, you're eating ice cream, you're smoking a cigarette, and then you see a doctor for a heart attack or stroke when you're 60? You should not be that person. Writing exercises and diary cards used in dialectical behavioral therapy helps patients become more self-aware and emotionally balanced. Participants also show large reductions in self-harm, emotional instability, and interpersonal dysfunction. Here's the thing, is that I'm not the person who's gonna say, when you get into a relationship, do this. That's not my business here. My mission on this earth, my vision is to help those believe in themselves that live alone and have mental illness, where you can love yourself and you can feel good at least 60 to 70, 80% of the day. There's gonna be never that day where you feel 100% if you live alone. It's just not gonna happen. But you're gonna at least know what you've done to get there. And that's why I always like to say that nothing really works. It will only help you get to a certain place. And if you're always thinking that there's gonna be this day that this person is gonna come, it's not gonna happen. Except that you are alone for life and you are gonna have to rely on yourself and motivate yourself. Subscribe to the channel if you feel that this resonated with you. Please leave a comment and let us know what you're thinking and inspire us. Like the video, share it with those people that need to hear this message. And before you get into another relationship, write down what you want, what you're thinking, aces your life with Mind Hygiene, and then inspire us and let us know what you did. In the next video, we'll talk about being ghosted by a girl. Don't numb the pain, do this instead. Namaste.